we are, bo- we are going to begin with the new subunit that is nothing but the transportation. See, transportation in human beings mainly. So, here we are going to have some of the procedures like as we have gone through nutrition, respiration. See, all those things have been accepted in our body or maybe absorbed in our body. Now it need to transport to particular organs or we can say to the system. We have seen in previous section that blood transport food, oxygen and waste material in our body. See, here the blood is considered as main connective tissue or transportive tissue which is responsible for the transportation of food, oxygen as well as the waste material from our body. See, so blood being a fluid connective tissue means it is going to connect one organ to another organ. Blood consists of a fluid medium called plasma. See, it is one of the colorless fluid medium that is present in our blood, in which the cells are suspended, in which we can say the cells are living. Blood consists of a fluid medium called plasma, in which the cells are suspended. Plasma transports food, carbon dioxide, and nitrogenous waste in dissolved form. See, it may be a carbon dioxide, it may be a nitrogenous waste. So that is in the dissolved form in the plasma, and then only it is able to carry from one organ to another organ or one body part to another body part. Oxygen is carried by the red blood cells. See, whereas mainly first we just need to go through the components of the blood. Components of blood. See, what are those? First one is RBCs, that is nothing but the red blood cells or red blood corpuscles. Second one is WBCs or white blood cells or white blood corpuscles. Next we have major component, that is plasma, and next in the traces amount we have platelets. See, as per this is the fluid that to colorless fluid, and RBCs is responsible for the red color as well as transportation of oxygen is done by the RBCs, whereas the immune system is regulated by WBC. Here the platelets, or it is also known as what, clotting factor. It is one of the clotting factor. See, after knowing components of the blood, let's we go to our explanation. See, oxygen is carried out by the RBCs. Many other substances like salts are also transported by the blood. See, some of the salts which is needed by our body is also transported by the blood. We thus need a pumping organ to push blood around the body, a network of tubes to reach all the tissues, and a system in place to ensure that this network can be repaired if damaged. See, here for transportation, we require first a pump. After that, we need to have network or pipelines. After that, it need to carry to entire tissues, cells, etc. Okay, so all these things we need to carry it. So for that, one major organ is present, that is nothing but the heart. Our pump is nothing but heart. So here you just go through the labelings first. First, aorta, it is connected to the oxygenated blood. Next we have pulmonary arteries. Next, pulmonary veins, left atrium, left ventricle, septum, that is dividing wall in between oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, right ventricle, vena cava. It is differentiated in superior and inferior vena cava. See, when we are telling about the vena cava from lower body, means it is inferior vena cava, whereas right atrium, after that vena cava from upper body, means this is the superior vena cava. Okay, so these are the network or the pipelinings connected with our pump or our heart. See here, the heart is muscular organ which is as big as our fist. See, just look at my fist. When I'm going to hold like this much is my heart size. Similarly, everyone's is going to be same. Okay, when I'm going to fold or hold my fist like this, at that time whatever the mass is going to gather, that is nothing but the, we can say it is equivalent weight or equivalent mass to my heart. Okay, see, because both oxygen and carbon dioxide have to be transported by the blood. The heart has different chambers to prevent the oxygen rich blood from mixing with the blood containing carbon dioxide. See, here whatever the red part is visible, that is oxygenated blood. Okay, whereas wherever this blue color is visible, that is deoxygenated blood. So here one wall or one muscular wall is present, that is nothing but the septum. It is going to differentiate oxygenated blood from deoxygenated blood, otherwise it is going to mixed up. That's why the God has created this well architect in our heart. See, the carbon dioxide rich blood has to reach the lungs for the carbon dioxide to be removed. See, the deoxygenated blood is going to come back or moving to lungs. That deoxygenated blood is moving to lungs, and it is need to remove the carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide need to be removed. Okay, so here, and the oxygenated blood from the lungs has to be brought back to the heart. See, oxygenated blood from here itself, it is going to enter. That is nothing but the oxygenated blood is going to enter to our heart. This oxygen rich blood is then pumped to the rest of the body. From here, it is moving. From here, the oxygenated blood is moving out of the body. Throughout the body. Here, oxygenated blood is moving to entire tissues, parts, cells, organs of our body. We can follow this process step by step. Oxygen rich blood from the lungs comes to the thin walled upper chamber of the heart to the left atrium. See, first here, with the help of small diagram, I just want to describe it. See, assume that this is our heart and it is differentiated in four of the major parts, that is nothing but left atrium, left ventricle, right atrium, and right ventricle. See, here what is going to happen when see, here only oxygenated blood is going to enter. First, the oxygenated blood enters through left atrium. Then it passes to left ventricle. See, when it is collecting the blood, it is in the relaxed state. Which one? The left atrium. Okay. Come here. The left atrium relaxes when it is collecting this blood. It then contracts, while the next chamber, the left ventricle, relaxes so that the blood is transferred to it. When the muscular left ventricle contracts, in it turns, the blood is pumped out to the body. See here what is going to happen. When the left atrium is relaxing, at that time oxygenated blood is going to come in. Okay, here what is going to happen, in the relaxed state it is empty, but now when it is filled, left atrium is completely filled with the oxygenated blood. At that time what is going to happen, here the contraction of left atrium is going to take place. During that, the blood enters to the left ventricle when the left ventricle is relaxing. After this, what is going to happen, here the blood is going to move out, the oxygenated blood is going to move out. See, during same time what is going to happen, deoxygenated blood comes from the body to the upper chamber of the right atrium. See, the similar way, here the carbon dioxide is going to enter in right atrium and during the relaxation state only. The similar way, when it is completely filled, right atrium, it is going to contract. Okay, when it is going to contract, the deoxygenated blood is going to enter. Deoxygenated blood is going to enter into a right ventricle. After that, when the right ventricle gets filled, it need to expel out. Then the right ventricle is going to contract. Okay. See, as the right atrium contracts, the corresponding lower chamber, the right ventricle, dilates this transfer blood to right ventricle, which in turn pumps it into the lungs for oxygenation. Since ventricles have to pump blood into various organs, they have thicker muscular walls than the atria do. Walls ensures that blood does not flow backwards when the atria or ventricle contracts. See, here we have some of the walls, we can say. Here bicuspid wall is present, here tricuspid wall is present, and along with the both of the walls, semilunar walls are present. All the four walls make sure that oxygenated and deoxygenated blood should not backflow. Okay, so see here what is going to happen. Oxygen enters the blood in the lungs. The separation of the right side and the left side of the heart is useful to keep oxygenated and deoxygenated blood from mixing. See here what is going to happen. The muscular wall, we can say the septum, is necessary to keep the oxygenated and deoxygenated separate from each other and they do not get mixed. Such separation allows a highly efficient supply of oxygen to the body. See, if it is happening means, if mixing is does not happening means, at that time the body is going to utilize the complete blood which is rich in oxygen. This is useful in animals that have high energy needs, see, such as birds, mammals, which constantly use the energy to maintain their body temperature. See, here as we know, we are warm blooded animals. As per surrounding, we can't change our temperature. For maintaining our body temperature, we required a lots of energy. Similarly, in birds too, the same thing is happening, and in mammals too. In birds as well as mammals, this is the, we can say, most struggling thing happening for the maintenance of their body temperature. If temperature drop means many of physiological activities are going to stop. For that reason, they are struggling to maintain their body temperature. In animals that do not use energy for this purpose, the body temperature depends on the temperature in the environment. Such animals like amphibians or many reptiles have three-chambered heart and tolerate tolerate some mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood streams. See, some of the amphibians and some of the reptiles, they are what, they don't get any of the problem during mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Why means they can balance their temperature according to their surrounding. Okay. Fishes on the other hand have only two chambers to their hearts and the blood is pumped to the gills, is oxygenated there and passes directly to the rest of the body. See, in the fishes what is going to happen, whatever the oxygenated blood is present in its body, it is directly pumped to the all body parts. Thus, blood goes only once through the heart in the fish during one cycle of passage through the body. On the other hand, it goes through the heart twice during each cycle in other vertebrates. This is known as double circulation. See, if the blood is moving twice the time, it may be in the form of oxygenated, again it may be in the form of carrying deoxygenated blood. So in that way, this kind of double circulation, the blood is going to transmit in a dual circulation. That's why it is known as what? Double circulation. See, here the tubes or the blood vessels, these are, we can say, one of the most important pipelines of our pump, our heart. See, arteries are the vessels which carry blood away from the heart to various organs of the body. Arteries are responsible for carrying oxygenated blood toward all body parts. Since the blood emerges from heart under high pressure, the arteries have thick elastic walls. Veins collect the blood from different organs. See, veins are going to collect the deoxygenated, or we can say carbon dioxide rich blood. They do not need thick walls because the blood is no longer under pressure. Instead, they have walls that ensure that the blood flows only in one direction. See, veins have walls that are responsible for the controlling that blood pressure. See, on reaching an organ or tissue, the artery divides into smaller and smaller vessels to bring the blood in contact with all the individual cells. See, the size we can say is reducing gradually in the form of vessels from major to tiny muscles, we can say, like this. These are only known as what? The blood vessels. See, next here, the smallest vessels have walls which are one cell thick and are called capillaries. See, we can say this is the singular cell wall. These are known as what? Capillaries. We can say it is the finest tube lines, tunnels from where the exchange of gases is going to take place with the help of diffusion. Exchange of material between the blood and surrounding cells takes place across this thin wall. The capillaries then join together to form veins that convey the blood away from the organ or tissues. See, here as I said, capillaries are going to make the exchange of gases. Here what is going to happen? Here it is mainly single celled wall, then easily oxygen is going to enter and carbon dioxide is easily expelled out. See here, oxygen is easily entering and carbon dioxide is easily expelling out. Okay, so here next, one more thing I want to show you. What is blood pressure? See, the force of blood exerted against the wall of the vessel is called as blood pressure. See, if we assume this is our blood capillaries, blood vessels, okay, so here as we know our blood is traveling. See, whatever the pressure is exerted by that blood on its wall, that is nothing but the blood pressure. Okay, is much greater in arteries than it has large pressure and it has less pressure. Okay, see here what is going to happen. The pressure of blood inside the artery during ventricle systole, that is contraction, is called systolic pressure, and pressure in artery during ventricular diastole, that is nothing but the relaxation, is called diastolic pressure. The normal person or the normal systolic pressure is about 20 mm of Vhg and diastolic pressure is 80 mm of Hg. See how it is written means BP or blood pressure is equal to 120 by 80. If it is so, then that too mm per Hg means the mercury level which is measured in one of the device. You can see here blood pressure or contraction, whereas diastolic pressure or relaxation to be measured. See from here the artery, rubber cuff inflated with air. See here what is going to happen. The pressure, external pressure is exerted on the arteries and the veins. Okay, here what is going to happen, the artery is get closed. During that the ventricular systole or contraction is completely stopped. See, pressure in the cuff is above 120 mmHg. So here you can observe the blood flow is completely stopped in the arteries. We can say arteries are closed. Now next step in that, what is going to happen when the cuff is released slowly, pressure in cuff below 120 mmHg. So here the doctor is going to place the stethoscope below that cuff lining. Sounds are audible in the stethoscope. Means the doctor is placing that stethoscope mainly to hear the sound of that particular arteries. Okay. See, ultimately what is going to happen? The diastolic pressure or relaxation pressure should be 80. Okay, then when the artery is completely filled with the blood, at that time the sound is going to stop. The sound whichever coming in the stethoscope, that is going to stop. So here the the blood pressure is earlier 120 during contraction and it should be now 80 during relaxation. So then only it is pressure during ventricular systole or contraction, it should be 120 mmHg, and below that it should be ventricular diastole or the relaxation. Okay, so if I said it normally means 120 by 80 normal blood pressure of for a particular person. See, blood pressure is measured with an instrument called sphygmomanometer. Sphygmomanometer. High blood pressure is also called hypertension and is caused by the constriction of arterioles, which results in increased resistance to blood flow. It can lead to be rupture of an artery and internal bleeding. So in the most of the hypertension patients, if it continues for a longer period of time, then their blood vessels can rupture, get puncture, and from that possible internal bleeding is going to happen. Causes or the reasons for this may be obesity or due to external or mental or physical stress, or due to this heart attack is, we can say, quite possible. Okay, next after this we have maintenance by platelets. See, as I have said you, the components of the bloods are plasma, RBCs, WBCs and the platelets. So here we are going to discuss about the platelets maintenance. What happens if these systems of tube develop a leak? Think about situation when we are injured and start bleeding. Naturally, the loss of blood from the system has to minimize. In addition, leakage would lead to a loss of pressure, which would reduce the efficiency of the see efficiency of the pumping system. To avoid this, the blood has platelet cells which circulate around the body and plug these leaks by helping to clot the blood at these points of injury. See, platelets are mainly responsible for the clotting. See, if it is not happen naturally means what is going to happen? The efficiency of transportation is going to reduce and the loss of water is different thing. So here the nature has given a gift, the God has given us a gift for this problem in the form of platelets, or we can say thrombus. See here the last we can say fluid which is responsible for the transportation. There is another type of fluid also involved in transportation. This is called lymph or tissue fluid. Through the pores present in the walls of capillaries, some amount of plasma, protein, and blood cells escape into intracellular spaces in the tissues to form the tissue fluid or lymph. It is similar to the plasma of blood but colorless and contain less protein. Lymph drains into lymphatic capillaries from the intercellular spaces. Lymph which joins to form large lymph vessels that finally open into larger veins. Lymph carries digested and absorbed fat from intestine and drains excess fluid from extracellular space back into the blood. See here what is going to happen. It is similar way. Like plasma, we have a similar fluid, that is body fluid, tissue fluid, or lymph. Just go with this example. Assume that this is our blood capillary. So here what is going to happen? When the blood is flowing along with some of the digested material, absorbed food material from the intestine, here what is going to happen? It is going to drain some of the trace amount some of the trace amount is leaked out from that. To carry this we have one system, or to collect this we have one system, that is nothing but the lymphatic vessels. These are going to collect all of the leaked or jumped nutrients like vitamins, proteins, fats, carbohydrates, all such things, and along with some of the cells it is going to carry. After that they are going to join it to a large vessels. So here why this is happening means, for the not any of the waste, whatever the things which is absorbed nutrients from small intestine, they need to provide to our body parts. Okay, so it should not get waste. That's why God has created this system in our body. So how you are understanding, enjoying my lectures, streamings, shorts? Please make sure to comment me, like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hope so it is beneficial to one another. If it required by someone means please share it with them, and make sure to like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. अल्लाह हाफिज़, दुआ में याद रखना.